What's up, guys? It's Coach Baker. This is going to be the second part of your assignment for this week, and it's going to be a verbal quiz. And what this is going to do is, number one, it's kind of a change of pace from what we've been doing. Hopefully you have a little bit of fun with it. But this is going to require you to think, because these answers to the questions that I'm about to ask you are not going to be something that you find specifically word for word somewhere in your notes. It requires you to have a little bit of background knowledge, which I hope that you do at this point, and it requires you to be able to kind of piece a little bit of information together and think a little bit, because at the end of the day, thinking is going to be able to take you much further than memorization of any content. You need to be able to think, all right? And so we're going to get those brain muscles pumping a little bit right now. First of all, I asked you at the end of the last video to make sure that you listen to the song of the South by the music group Alabama. If you haven't done that yet, pause this video right now and go back and watch it, because you're going to have to know the song, or at least a little bit about it, to answer these questions. If you've watched it, this is what we're going to do. First of all, a little bit of background about this. I've listened to Alabama for a long time. You know, as a kid, I can remember, Dad had CDs of Alabama in his car. Listen to it going down the road. And naturally, if you listen to something long enough, you learn the words to it. And especially as a kid, it's pretty easy to learn the words to a song. But just because you know the words doesn't necessarily mean that you know what the song's talking about, or you know the meaning behind it. And that's the case with this. I've known the words of this song for forever and forever and forever, but it wasn't until, a few years back when I was doing a lesson similar to this, and I was kind of thinking, hey, that song is about a boy explaining his family's life during the Great Depression. And it is. It's exactly what it is. And so with that being said, I'm using that in this lesson today, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. Actually, it's going to be 5. I'm asking you 5 questions. They're going to be 5 points apiece, 25-point verbal quiz, very simple. The way that you'll answer this is you will type your answers on a Google Doc and submit them to me, and I will grade them. Also, after this video is over, on Friday, the end of the week this week, I'm going to post a separate video that contains the answers to these questions. So make sure that even if you've done this, you tune back in at the end of the week, and you can kind of watch my video to gauge how correct you were in answering your questions. All right, here we go. At the very beginning of the song, one of the first verses, number one, the song is being narrated from the standpoint of a young boy describing his family's life. You can tell he's a young boy because he's mentioning his mom and his dad, and so he hasn't moved out of the house yet. He's a younger kid. Excuse me, and I've got to reposition myself. The first question is this, and during the first of the song, he mentions that his father is a veteran. What war would his father have been a veteran of? Taking consideration, we're talking about a grown man that is living during the late 1920s, early 1930s. He's not a grandpa, but he's not a kid. So if he's a grown man during that period of time, what war would he have been a veteran of? Question number 2. In that same sentence that he mentions that his father was a veteran, it also gives his political party affiliation. So given the political party affiliation of the boy's father, who would he have not voted for in the election of 1932? All right, next question. Later on in the song, there is a phrase that says, somebody told us that Wall Street failed. What is he referring to when he says that Wall Street failed? Next question. Later on in the song, it says, cotton was short and the weeds were tall, but Mr. Roosevelt was going to save us all. What does he mean by Mr. Roosevelt was going to save us all? And then finally, the last question. What New Deal program saved this boy's family, allowing them to purchase a washing machine and a Chevrolet. All right, that's the end of this. Answer these. Obviously, this is a video, so if you need to watch the questions again, if I went too fast, you can go back through, watch it again. And do this as well. After you have done your work, after you've submitted it, after you've turned it in, do this. If any of you have parents or guardians, whoever you live with, that are fans of Alabama, anything like that, after you've done your work, ask them this quiz, and we'll see how good they are. All right, see you next time.